Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Beautiful Wednesday morning here in Central Florida. Starting the day off at 64 degrees. It's going to be another beautiful day. Absolutely is. Sometimes it's hard to be a good day. Choice is yours. Yeah, I fail too sometimes, but just got to keep trying. So I remember when I drove a deuce and a half and a 5-ton. They pretty similar in shifting and everything, and I never got out of the far right lane, um, especially at intersections because you're in third gear before you're halfway through the intersection. They built for power, not speed. Convoy speed in the military lots of times is 40, 45 miles an hour, and that's going pretty quick. So I say that because there's still trucks on the road that you're still in third gear before you're through the intersection. You know, some of you truck drivers should never be in the left lane unless you're turning left. I'm just saying. Most of y'all are pretty good. You know, the professional truck drivers, y'all are great. You do a job I can't do. But they must have lowered the standards for some folks because, wow. I'm just saying. I have some good friends that are professional truck drivers and some family members. And they see it, they know. But just saying. We have a very, very good instructor for CPR, first aid, and AED training. And we provide adult, child, and infant CPR training for our employees. And that's the child and infant isn't required, but it doesn't cost much more money. And it's a great benefit for the employees, I think. So if you have that benefit, take advantage of it because you just might know how to save the life of a loved one. And it's really important to know how to do something versus not being able to do anything. If you can get past that moment, you're doing great. Now, when I first started, I had a hard time getting past that moment. But then one day, I don't know what happened, just boom, things started happening, got things done, and there you go. So don't judge people if they get stuck in that moment. Some people call it the oh poop moment. Some people call it the OMG moment. It's just that reality of, well, somebody's hurt real bad or dying, and I'm here. Now what? So I've seen a lot of really good people struggle getting through that moment. It's not something you can get through until you try. So don't judge anybody harshly if they struggle with that. So there's some times where my wife will ask me, well, that person fell on the floor over there and you didn't do anything. And well, I'm not a emergency service person, and there were plenty of people to take care of that. I just soon not get involved sometimes. Now, if there was nobody there, that's a different story. But I don't mind helping people out. I would in most cases, and I've pulled people out of ditches, and I've done a few other things and stuff, and helped people on the side of the road. But I tend to go with my gut, and maybe that's wrong. But if something tells me something ain't right, then observe and report. There was somebody out on the path, the walking path that goes beside the business here, and they were laying on the ground, acting like they was hurt. And there was someone in the bushes with a can of mace and went up to the person, went to help them, maced them, and robbed them. So I still got that instinct says don't do it, then don't. But then there's been some people where something told me they needed help, and I just went right in and helped. And now, when it's your job, you don't have a choice. You have to help. If you are a certified professional, that's what you got to do. But I'm just a lay person now. I'm not. I don't have as much training as I used to, and I'll give you some advice on that. You know, I still carry a EMT bag in my vehicle, but the first thing I do when I get it is I get rid of the stuff that I'm no longer licensed to use. Airways and a few other little trinkets that come in those bags. If you don't have the certification or training, don't do it. Don't even tempt yourself. Get it out of there. Now, you can do anything to save your family member, anything that you think you're doing to help them. But if it's somebody else, it's a whole new world. You want to make sure you stay within your training. And then if you stay within your training, you'll be good. You don't have anything to worry about. So, but you got to be careful of your surroundings. I think in areas like where I live, more so than in others, you got a lot of deviants that need to go to the Polk County Pokey and not be on the street. But that's someone else's job too. And even stay up with your training, because things change. Things changed a lot since 1988. My first CPR and first aid class was in 1988, and things have changed an awful lot. Stay up with it. It's important. I wish my wife would take it. I think she did this year for the first time, because if you're out and about with the kids camping, we love to go camping and be out in the middle of nowhere. You want to do what you can to help them out, right? So at school, normally we let the parents take care of their kids, but if you gotta take care of somebody, you talk about it. And one kid skinned his knee and come to me and said, "Can you help me clean this up?" And I'm sure. So I went and got what he needed, and I told him, I said, he was old enough. I told him, I said, "You got a choice, young man. You can go and wash that wound out with warm soapy water and dry it really good, or we can use an alcohol or betadine pad." And he was like, "I would rather do warm soapy water." Well, of course you would. It doesn't hurt. If you got warm soapy water, it's better than anything else you can use anyhow. And then we're all good. All right. Try to teach my kids that too. Make sure you clean it. Make sure you clean it, because infection will sneak up on you in a couple days, and you ain't gonna like the result. So I'm just babbling. I don't know why. My mind is kind of fluttering. I've got a lot going on, and just, hey, it's my morning thoughts. It's what's going on inside this head. Sometimes they're scary. Sometimes I'm struggling just to keep my head straight. That's kind of reality with everybody, right? Sometimes you're your own worst enemy. Sometimes the things that aggravate you here aren't as important as where you're going. Just saying. So I pulled out the bandsaw over the weekend and got a few cuts done, and then one of the tires came off. So if you don't know a bandsaw, you got two pulleys. Mine are 12-inch. I got a 12-inch saw. It's about yay big, and that metal pulley has a piece of rubber or polypropylene. I don't know what they're making them out of now, but it's a piece of rubber that fits onto that pulley, and the blade rides on that, and it's that rubber that pulls the blade around. And you can't use it without the tires. And after time, they dry out. And I had opened it up and inspected them and thought, well, they look okay. And I got about 8 cuts out of it before the tire flopped around. Thankfully, the blade didn't flop around. The blade's still good. It didn't come flying off. And we're good. Got to know your equipment. I really like the power tools I have, but you need to know how to use them safely. And get some new tires on order. Might as well replace the pair, not just the one that came off. And that's what's going on. Excuse me while I sneeze. Anywho, no, I'm not cutting it out. This is just me. I don't edit this stuff anyhow. So once those tires get in, then we'll take care of that. I also went ahead and got ready to order a couple loft beds. If you don't know what a loft bed is, it's kind of like a bunk bed with only the top bunk, and then you've got other stuff going on down below. So I ordered the girls each one the same with the loft bed, and then down below is a chest of drawers, a desk area, a little shelf area for storage, and then a rack for clothes on the end, kind of like a little closet. And then you can configure them to where they work out in your area, so the ladder can go on the end or to the inside. What I like about the ones that I got is the one side towards the middle of the room is open on both of them, so you still have a big open area. And better use of space. So we'll be getting those. It says it takes 4 hours to assemble one. I got 2. So they already know we have some guidelines that, number one, the area in front of the couch, between the couch and the fireplace, is going to have to be completely cleared out for building. And that will, and there's some beanbag chairs and a little stand and stuff like that. But and number 2, they're going to have to get everything out of their room. And we're going to deconstruct one side at a time. So we'll take, since Najana's bed is broken, we'll take hers out first and then build that one. And then if things are going well, the same day we'll do Naomi's. But we may do it 2 different days. Just depends how things are going. So, but they know what the expectations are. They know that they're expected to help, and they know what needs to be done before we will assemble them. One thing I like about them is there's power outlets and USB outlets, so they can have a little lamp, computer charger, their iPhone charger or iPad charger, and all that happy stuff. And they'll have their own space instead of a shared space. And I think that's important. So that's what's going on right now. A little too long a chat for the old guy today. And something got in my nose this morning. So I'm going to cut this off before I sneeze again. Y'all have a great day. Be positive. Always strive to do the right thing, no matter what happens. When you fail, and you will, pick yourself up, learn from it, and rock on.